Hello, welcome to another installment of Comparative Reasoning. I'm your host, Sidra Kennedy. And yesterday, it was early in the morning. Board of Fifth Column, he popped up talking about, he was like, everybody knows now what's happening. I'm like, how does everybody know? I don't know. I'm not everybody. And I don't like when people do that. You know, when they do their shows, as if everybody knows what they know, because nobody knows what you know. You know, So this whole, you said the 13-year-old kid that was shot and killed. You talked about the strobe light used and how it was used to disorient and things like that. But yeah, I knew that already. You know, that's sort of, in the clubs when you dance and the strobe lights make you like you can dance when you really can't. You know, it disorients somebody's eyes. You know, when they perceive something that's not there. And he talked about how the cop can't see what the kid is doing and whatnot. Okay, fine. That's all well and good. So I decided to look for the footage best that I can, because YouTube, the way YouTube functions is you can't show violence against kids, and because you can't show violence against kids, or kids committing violence onto other kids, or kids committing violence onto even inanimate objects, that means that any police brutality and slaying of, minors, mainly minors that are minorities, well, it won't be shown. It's just a weird blanket cover up of what's been happening. So people talk about it, but you can never show it. And showing it is very important, because it shows what's really going on. It's not a lie. There's evidence. There's video. I looked at the NBC version of it. Constantly the cop is running, chasing the kid. The kid gets to the point, slows down, turns around, hands up. Cop runs up. The light is just flickering and flickering, but the place is plenty lit anyway. So the cop slows down, and then the video pauses. Obviously, that's when the shooting happens, and the reporter is saying that it was, the shooting was like all too fast. So it seems like it was another Tamir Rice thing. If any of you remember Tamir Rice, that incident, pull up, don't get a chance to really get out the car, shoot the kid dead. Car rolls up on the park grounds like they in some action movie. So look, I'm gonna say this about TV news and mainstream media and social media. Here's a clear and present way to tell if you should listen to those people or that station or not. This is how. This reporter mentioned that the kid might have had a gun and it used it already, or may have planned to use it, or still had the gun on his person. And that might be why the cop discharged his weapon. Immediately making the excuse for wrongful death. Making that excuse, that should just, honestly, if you ever want to be triggered to stop watching something, that's it. Because she just undermined everything. Anyone on social media, mainstream media, paid media, or anything that talks about, well, the cop might have been in danger, don't watch them. That's how you know. Cop couldn't have been in danger, because the kid turned around with both hands up. It doesn't matter if that kid had the gun, fired 6 shots into the air, ran off. It doesn't matter. The cop did what he did. It doesn't matter. That's just how that rolled. So what did the kid do? The kid ran up, realized he's not going to get away. He realized that. He slowed down at a fence, put his arm behind it, whatever he had in his hand, he tossed it into the darkness where it's not going to be found. Well, what he might think, it might not be found. You can see that he tossed something. You could tell. It could have been weed. It could have been a rock. It could have been a stolen CD player. It could have been a stolen phone. It could have been anything. Kid tossed it, slowly turned around like, hey, you didn't see that. Hands up. Don't shoot. He got shot. He got killed. Hands up, palms facing forward, nothing in the hand. The cop shot because he couldn't shoot while running. He couldn't shoot while running, but once the kid stopped and he got up on him, then he had him dead to rights. That was intent. How do I know? Because when someone turns around and their hands are up, that's a surrender position. And if the police are not trained to understand that, then they're not police, they're hitmen. If they're not trained to know that, they're attack dogs set to police minority communities or financially disadvantaged communities. That's what that was. There was nothing positive about that. The kid didn't have a weapon in hand at the time. Maybe before, maybe during the chase, but not when he was turning around. Hands up, palms forward. In a very lit area, that cop was on a murder mission and won. So if anyone comes up with anything to say that this kid deserves it or to make any excuse for the cop's actions, then that person is disingenuous. That news group or whatnot is disingenuous. And I urge you to not watch those people. I urge you, don't downvote, don't dislike, just put the word out. Don't watch them for said reasons. And don't go watch them trying to find something to hate. Just don't watch them. And that's done easier than said. It really is. So with all that being shown and what's happened and protests happening, you know what's going to happen. 2 to 3 weeks, maybe a month and a half. Those most hurt by it will remember. Everybody else they would have gone on to the next political or social thing. They would have mostly or half forgotten. And then that is the true crime. This has been Sidra Kennedy for Comparative Reasoning. Thank you for listening.